Wendell, your group probably faced two of its biggest games of the regular season, came out with two big wins over the last two. What did you like about the way your group has played over the last couple games?
We just established our identity on the defensive end. I think that was something that we was missing to start the year. Just kind of getting a feel for one another, and then offensively we just starting to click. When we added guys like Dez and Matthias, it was only a matter of time before they started to get into their groove. So, I think we're in a good spot, but we're definitely not satisfied. We're only 20 games into the season, so we got a lot more ways to go to continue to grow, and I think we're going to do just that.
We saw what happened in Philly on the court, and then at the end of the game in Detroit. Just can you guys sense when you guys are being annoying, disruptive to other teams, and how does that maybe feed the fire?
We're competitors. Including Philly, Detroit. This league is full of talented competitors. Emotions get involved sometimes, which is the beauty of this game. Those are two talented teams. So for us to go out there and just compete on the highest level every night, it's just something that we dreamed of since we were kids. So it gets frustrating for sure. From my standpoint, from our team against other teams, when defense is a part of your identity, physicality, it gets frustrating. But that's the beauty of this game.
You went a little viral for the response when Andre tried to start something there. What was going through your mind when it? I mean, it looked like he was trying to square up a little bit, but what was going through your mind there?
Honestly, I don't even know. I don't really remember. Drummond, that's my guy. I got a pretty good relationship with him, so. I don't know. Like I said before, just emotions was probably running high. It was just one of those games, and I kind of understood where he was coming from for sure. But at the end of the day, that's my guy. It's no bad blood at all. When I see him, it's still all love.
You guys knew you were going to kind of find your way defensively. That's this team identity. But how have you liked how this team has kind of grown into the season and kind of found your path or your process on defense this year?
It's different. Last year was a different team in its own way. We have different players this year, so it took us a minute to kind of fall into, what we're going to rely on the defensive end and what we're going to be willing to give up. But we figured it out. It was only a matter of time. From the outside looking in, felt like the sky was falling in. But us being in this building every day, being around each other every day, we understood that it was just a matter of time for everything started clicking in. Now it's starting to click.
How have you guys worked to keep Powell involved at this point right now?
It's not really hard for us. He's one of those guys. He wants to be involved, even though he's not playing. He's in every practice. He's talking, giving his 2 cents. Been doing a great job during games. When he's seeing different coverages. Helping us. Being able to read the game a little bit more because he's usually the one out there with us. So, it's not really hard for us. He's one of those guys. When he comes back, he wants to just continue to help this team win. So he's just trying to make sure we all stand on the straight and narrow, just continuing to win games. So when he gets back, it's an easy way for him to just come in and just join the team.
As you look at the Chicago team, where does it start? What are some of the keys for your group going up against them?
First is to limit them in transition. They get out and run. They're a very fast-paced team. Makes or misses, they're getting it out quick. For us offensively, I think we have to live in the paint a little bit, get into the paint as much as possible, but understanding they're going to shrink the floor. So, when we get our open shots, kick out shots, we got to take them, make or miss. The process has to be over the results tonight, and then, that's really about it. Yeah, and then limit Josh Giddey. Josh Giddey's playing at an all-time high right now, so, it has to be a little bit of attention and focus to him and Kobe White also.
We've made maybe a little bit more out of the pace and kind of the way that you guys have kind of started trying to play faster. But how do you feel like this team's kind of found the right tempo or the right balance between getting out and running and kind of slowing things down and controlling how fast both teams are playing?
That's also, it was one of those field things. We came into the year like, hey, we're going to play fast, and we started playing a little too fast in my opinion. In moments where we didn't really have an advantage, trying to make something out of nothing. But now we've kind of found the sweet spot of knowing when to run, when not to run, when to get a good shot, understanding the momentum of the game, understanding that maybe we need to take a little bit of time off the clock to make sure we get a good shot. So we found that sense of whether to run or to take our time on the offensive end. But I think there's definitely more room for us to grow in that aspect.
Yeah, thanks, Sal.